Hey y'all, I have done a video previously telling you all that California was pushing a ban to ban the most popular pistol in America, the Glock pistol. Now, of course, the California legislature passed that bill. They did that last week, and it's now in front of Gavin Newsom. But California's Glock ban isn't alone. There are more anti-gun bills sitting on Newsom's desk right now. If I were to predict the future, he's gonna sign it. What Second Amendment restriction has he not signed yet? Now, California didn't just move a Glock ban. The lawmakers there also sent the governor a stack of new gun restrictions. Some background checks for, of all things, I have to show you because you won't believe me, a barrel. A background check on a barrel. Also, they revived the purchase rationing scheme. I'll tell you all about that. As well as a sweeping crackdown on DIY files and machines. I'll unpack each bill. I'll tell you how they work, when they take effect, and why they are begging for a court fight under Heller and Bruen. Welcome back, guys and gals, to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. If you value detailed breakdowns that the media will not give you, hit subscribe here and share the video. It doesn't cost you anything, but it'll help you get the word out to your friends and help you stay in the loop, especially if you have people that you know or love behind the enemy lines in California, IA. And I want to say thank you to everybody out there. It is the 7th birthday of Blackout Coffee. And we wouldn't have been able to get here without you. And as a token of our gratitude and our appreciation, we got a huge sale going. Buy 2, get 1 free on all coffee, tea, and cocoa. And just use code 7YEARS at checkout. Thank you for supporting Blackout Coffee. Your support has allowed us to support groups like Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, and help them sue the government. So by supporting us, you support them, and they support us in return. It's a big, giant circle that we at Blackout are just a huge fan of. So thank you. Check us out, blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Code 7YEARS. Buy 2, get 1 free as a thank you. Appreciate y'all. Really, really do. Let's talk about the first one, the Glock ban. It's AB 1127. And here's what this bill does. AB 1127 prohibits licensed dealers from selling what the state calls machine gun convertible pistols. That's any semi-automatic pistol with a cruciform trigger bar. It's more than just Glock that uses those. It's all of the offshoots, the kits that you use to create your own, and the companies that make Glocks better than Glock. That there's several of them out there. But if they use a cruciform trigger bar, they say they can be readily converted by installing a tiny backplate device, which is also infamously known as the Glock switch. No extra machining on the trigger guard is required, so that's why they want to ban this type of firearm. Now, the bill also folds a pistol equipped with such device into the state definition of a machine gun. Now, of course, there's exemptions for law enforcement and other official uses, but not for you, those who are covered by the Second Amendment. So if we have a Glock in California, we're going to get into a jam. And what guns are hit? Well, the definition targets many Glock pattern pistols and clones because of their triggered bar design. The supporters frame this as targeting an alleged design flaw, while opponents point out the definition sweeps in a huge category of common pistols used by civilians and carried by police all across America, and it is the most popular pistol in America. Now, should Gavin Newsom sign AB 1127 into law, Senate analysis lists January 1st, 2026 as the start date. But advocacy and press coverage have also referenced July 1st, 2026 in later stages. So the bottom line is the prohibition on dealer sales of covered pistols is slated for 2026. But if you're in California, if you're an FFL or a buyer, you need to watch for the final enrolled text once Gavin Newsom signs it and the DOJ guidance on the enacted operative date kicks in. Now, gun control groups say that manufacturers who fix the design can resume sales. In reality, California's handgun roster hurdles, think micro-stamping mandates, which is currently tied up in litigation, and other safety feature requirements mean Just Fix It isn't simple enough for Glock models that are actually on the market, because once they're removed from that roster, they're not getting back on without a fight. Now, the legislature approved AB 1127. They sent it to Gavin Newsom, so he has it right now. And, of course, every town for gun safety is cheering, and gun right groups are preparing challenges. Expect litigation centered on Heller's common use protections for the handguns and how Bruen's history and tradition test is obviously being just ignored here. Now, AB 1127 is pitched as the anti-switch fix, but functionally it's a brand and design-based handgun sale ban that strikes at arms in common use. That's exactly the kind of categorical prohibition that courts have already warned against. The second bill is SB 704, background checks. For barrels. Yes, for barrels. Background checks for barrels. That's where we are. SB 704 regulates standalone firearm barrels. Now, sales or transfers must go in person through an FFL, and after a phase-in, require an eligibility check plus record keeping. Now, the dealer can charge up to $5 per eligibility check, and it can be indexed by up to $1 annually if the DOJ needs it, if they need to steal more of your money from you. There are exemptions, of course. For example, an attached barrel, like if you're buying a full pistol already, or, of course, law enforcement or military, certain curios and relics collectors, and if you're already buying a firearm in the same transaction and undergoing the regular firearm background check. So it's not one for the firearm and then one for the barrel. It's one for the transaction. The bill staggers implementation here. The FFL handling requirement and eligibility check fully kick in July 1st of 2027. Once this is signed under the current amended text. Now, earlier drafts floated 2026 or January of 2027. Again, check the final enrolled language and Cal DOJ regulations as they roll out. Now, this is all unconstitutional, but backers call it a first-of-its-kind response to ghost guns, claiming that barrels, these are the problem. This little guy right here has been looking at me awkwardly the entire time. Try it, punk. But they're claiming that these barrels are a critical part of ghost guns that really can't be easily 3D printed at home. So if we stop these from getting into people's hands, then the guns will disappear. Crime will just disappear. Critics note California already bans unserialized frames and receivers and precursor parts. So this adds new crimes and friction without stopping illicit markets. They're going to try to ban everything, every piece of the damn gun. Now, if you want to replace a worn barrel or buy an aftermarket tube, you will have to go through an FFL, do some paperwork, cut a check, get a check, and the fees will be tacked on top, even though the part itself is not a frame or receiver. That's a regulatory creep from guns to gun parts. That's what California is trying to do. They want to be the first in the nation so that others follow suit. The third bill is AB 1078. You might have heard of the 1 in 30 bill or the law that was destroyed in California. Well, instead of 1 in 30, they want to do 3 in 30. And there's some more concealed carry red tape as well. A federal court did strike down California's 1 gun a month law, and lawmakers are now adding a new angle. How about 3 guns a month? How about that? AB 1078 says it starts April 1st, 2026, and a person can apply to purchase up to 3 firearms within any 30-day window. Remember, some months have 31, so this will put you in a jam there. Dealers are barred from delivering if the buyer would exceed that 3 in 30 cap. Now, this is transparently a litigation dodge. Okay, not 1 in 30. Well, how about 3 in 30? How about that? With the exact same lack of historical tradition under Bruen. California. AB 1078 also tinkers with carry licensing. It's tightening disqualifiers, directing what agencies must check on things, adding process rules for non-resident applications. Remember, they just were forced to start issuing those, and clarifying transport rules on public transit, when the firearm is unloaded and locked in a container. You can't have a gun on you in public transit where all the creeps and cuckoos are. You have to have it in a box, unloaded and locked away. Now, it's a broad fix-it bill aimed at shoring up California's post-Bruen concealed carry scheme, and it piles more administrative burdens on law-abiding applicants, yet does not one single thing to stop a single criminal from just carrying as they want. They can have all the barrels they want. No background checks. They can carry guns and knives on public transit and stab people in the neck, but that's okay because they're one of their voters. AB 1078 is enrolled and headed to the governor. It's already on his desk. Expect immediate challenges the moment it's signed, especially against the rationing section. It should just be a toss-up. Like the court should say, hey, nope, you tried 1 in 30. This is also illegal. Done, day one. But judges are cowards too. The fourth one is AB 1263, which would criminalize aiding DIY building, expanding civil suits, and policing code. Yeah, you're going after free speech now. AB 1263 creates a new misdemeanor for knowingly or willfully causing or facilitating the unlawful manufacture of firearms, including assault weapons, 50 BMG, or using a 3D printer or CNC machine. It also expands the definition of digital firearm manufacturing code, think CAD or CAM files, not just simple CAD. And it lets private plaintiffs sue for damages and injunctions. So anybody on the street, if you 3D print a gun or you use a CAD machine or you happen to have files, they all can sue you individually if this goes through. Not just the attorney general or the city or the county attorneys. Everybody. There's even a rebuttal presumption of liability if you run a site that hosts these files and encourages their dissemination. So think about this. They can reach out and touch you if you're not in California, but your website is accessible in California. They've done this stuff before. New York sued people who sold parts all around this country and still are suing them because their websites are accessible. Now, the bill also requires those selling an unattached barrel. Again, barrels. These things are so freaking dangerous. You better not try it while I'm sitting here, punk. But the bill also requires those that sell unattached barrels, which is just a firearms accessory, or a firearm manufacturing machine to provide clear notices about California crimes and verify that buyers are 18 plus, which is a preview of SB 704's barrel regime and another layer of burden on legal commerce. AB 1263 cleared both chambers, is now sitting in front of Newsom, and will draw First Amendment and Dormant Commerce Clause arguments, as well as for policing code and out-of-state internet, on top of Bruen issues. Now let's talk about why these bills are vulnerable in court, because they're going to get signed. I mean, common use on handguns. Heller protected handguns in common use for lawful purposes. Design-based prohibition, just because it has a cruciform trigger bar, that's a design-based prohibition that effectively sweeps in Glock pattern pistols. And like I said, Glock's not the only manufacturer that makes them anymore because the patent is expired for Gen 3s. A dormant, widely used category of firearms. It looks like a categorical handgun ban by proxy, and prove to me that it's not. Now, courts have already rejected outright handgun bans. So there's that. Then there's the Bruen history test. Purchase rationing. Of 1 in 30 versus 3 in 30. Doesn't freaking matter. I could buy 3 every hour if I want to. And barrel checks in 2027 have no historical analog from 1791 or 1868 or 1975 or 30 AD. There's no freaking ban on a tube, meaning the statute is gross, meaning the state must point to a tradition of regulating barrels and purchase cadence. Good luck with that. Speech and code. AB 1263's presumptions and private rights of actions for digital firearm manufacturing code raise speech and interstate commerce problems. If they're going to try to sue somebody in a different state because they have code on their website, on top of Second Amendment claims. So what can you all do right now? Well, he's going to sign it anyway, but have some fun with Gavin Newsom. If you're in California, call and email that clown and tell him to veto AB 12 1127, SB 704, AB 1078, and AB 1263. Yeah, be respectful and firm. Don't get yourself red flagged, but focus on the facts. These punish law-abiding people. They fail Bruen, and they don't stop criminals who are already ignoring existing laws. Creating a new law doesn't make a criminal go, oh my, it's time for me to repent. Support the lawsuits that will be coming up. Groups like CRPA, California Rifle and Pistol Association, Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, and others will be filing these lawsuits. I'm sure about it. Keep an eye on Gun Owners of California. I'm sure they'll be one of the first ones with CRPA to go after this stuff. Now, choose the one you like. Choose the group you like and help fund the fight. Share this video. Get this breakdown to gun owners who haven't heard the details and won't because all they do is watch mainstream media. There's a lot of us gun owners out there that for some reason still think that what they see on TV is true. California keeps inching from regulating guns to regulating gun ownership itself. And now even parts and information are going to be targeted by California. Information. Patriots, our rights don't survive by accident. They survive because we defend them. I will track every signature, every lawsuit, and every injunction on this. So subscribe, ring the bell, and stay alert. Check out blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Use code 7years to do that buy two, get one free sale as a thank you for supporting us. And again, if you buy SAF, GOA, or FPC's roasts, we give $2 for every single item sold right back to them to sue the government. So help us, help them, help us by helping us. Appreciate y'all. Be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. It's on us, guys and gals. The government's proven time and time again that they don't care and they don't really want to keep you safe anyway. I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.